All right, man, I know you're having some issues with the pec cramping. Feels like it's about to tear when you're deadlifting. I've had the same issue before. I had it several years ago. I actually tore a pec. I've torn both of them a couple of times doing that. Pulled it really good one time in Paducah training. Deadlifting, it was a little over 700, I remember, and got the bar just around my knees. Got slightly out of position, and I felt it pop, and I had nothing left. I couldn't pull anymore on the bar. I couldn't get a second attempt, even though the weight felt pretty easy. There are a couple of things you can do. I would always, I use this Magtastic. This is the old name. It's called Magnesium for Muscles. Magnesium spray. It's an anti-cramp spray. I've got bottles everywhere, at home, here, in the car. I would cover the forearm, bicep, the entire pec, shoulder, maybe even the lat, spray it down. I would hit both sides before I deadlifted. That's what I did before every deadlift training session for a long time. When I was hitting chemo really hard, I kept tearing pecs, triceps, lats, that sort of thing. And I didn't believe in this stuff at all. Still not a big essential oils guy at all, but I began spraying this before doing stones, farmers, and deadlifts, and I had less cramps, so I kept doing it. So I would definitely do that. On top of that, I would cover it with some kind of hot cream, whatever kind of hot cream you like, Bengay, Icy Hot, or if you like the really, really hot stuff, you can cover yourself with something hot. It's not only thermal, but it creates circulation and movement in that area, which I think is a good thing. Get one of these new age mouthpieces. My training partner bought me one of these a year and a half ago. I thought it was totally bogus. Put it in, I lift better with it in. I'm stronger when I wear it on every single lift. Everything. Jaws hurt less, but I cramp less as well. And if you think about it, how many people, I know a lot of people used to get cramps doing abs. A lot of people, neck cramps. I know a lot of people used to get neck cramps doing grip work. You see them closing the grippers and they'll get a neck cramp. Well, a little trick, if you take your tongue and push it towards the roof of your mouth while you're doing abs or while you're doing a grip work, something like that, you won't get that neck cramp. Same thing with overhead press, but do you really want to be pressing your tongue against the roof of your mouth while doing overhead press? Probably not. This works for me very similar. It creates, a space, and I don't know how it works, but it makes a difference, and it's worth it. Not only is it might help you with the pec cramping, but you're going to lift more weight on all of your lifts. One of the things that I began doing, one of the many things that I began doing, I took this band and kept it right here. I know you've seen this before. I've picked this up from Donnie Thompson, and it's everywhere online. But what I began doing in between sets of deadlifts, or farmers or stones, I would come in here and set this up, and I would dig this. I can do it this way where you can see it better. Well, it's my right pec I normally have problems with. I would set this up so it cuts across that muscle that normally cramps. This will be part of my warm-ups for whatever exercise I was doing or about to do, and then I would do this in between sets or just before I would set up to go do my next set. I want to get it set across there, and I want to lean as far as I can so it's kind of digging into that pec a little bit and pulling the shoulder back. And then I just want to do some swims as much as I can, and the more that I swim, the more that it's going to dig, the more that's going to pull that shoulder back, and as I'm leaning, it's pulling back and down. So I will swim, I will do pec decks, I will do back strokes if at all possible. I'll do everything that I possibly can, and you find that movement, but you can slowly start to feel it digging in to that pec minor. Just doing 4 or 5 of each is not going to fix everything. I think I used to do 20 reps of the 3 main movements, the swim, the pec deck, the Superman, whatever that I would do. And then I would do that in between sets, part of my warm-up. Even after what I just did there, I can feel my pec starting to loosen up, my shoulders starting to pull back due to my right side. But that's one thing you can do, and you need to get a lot of tension in that band so it is digging down to that pec. That's something that I don't get with foam rolling, because with the band I can control how much it's pressing into my pec by how much I'm leaning, and I can even lean forward to make it pull that shoulder down and get it into place. If you think about that deadlift and when you're cramping, it's most oftentimes around the knee. So when you are around the knee, your shoulders, you're not completely upright and back. So you're in that transition phase where your chest is starting to really come out and pull through, even if you're doing sumo. But going around the knee requires a little extra grip. And as I asked you before through a message the other day, see if you can squeeze your pointer finger and your thumb together without your pec contracting. It's really difficult to do. So it's the same thing as you're gripping the bar. As you begin to grip and squeeze at that point where the bar is moving a little bit and you have to track it just a little bit forward and back, and you're squeezing, maybe that bar is twisting just a hair in your grip. That extra squeeze can also be what's putting some pressure on that pec. So even as you're warming up, if you're doing anything with the barbell, and I've got some cold rolled steel, rolling out the forearms, rolling out the hands, rolling out the biceps, with some kind of smashing, something like that, can make a difference. So, and I've also got an AccuMobility ball at home that I use all the time, and I love their large, ginormous AccuMobility roller. Makes it easier just to set up against a wall and lean into and dig that shoulder back. So I've got one other exercise that I do. Let me move the camera around. Let me get this set up so I can show you. All right, for this one, I've got a pair of heavy bands. You can see where the height of this is. I'm anywhere between 6'1" and 6'2", depending on which gas station I'm leaving. And I will hook this through here. Once again, I didn't invent this either. Probably saw it on a Donnie Thompson video, where I see most things between him and the mobility wad guy. But you could set this up with a barbell. Height, it doesn't matter. I really would like it a little bit higher, to be honest. And I've set it up much higher, but this still takes way too long. I'm not going to get this set up exactly how I want to. Bands are not exact measurements. Move the camera down so you can see me move. All right, now I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to put it through here like a pair of suspenders, I guess. It's the same principle. I want to pull my pecs back. If this was up higher, it would be a little bit easier. And when I've done this before, I've had it set up so high that I could basically lay out like Superman, flying push-up position, and it would pull my hands off the ground. But this isn't bad if I'm going to sit here for several minutes. And I can sit on my knees, I can lean forward, and I can just relax. A big key to this, I think, is being able to relax when you do it. If you are tight when you're doing this, and that's quite often, I love about back pain videos. They talk about, well, just foam roll when you have back pain. Well, clearly, you've never really had back pain if you can foam roll, because getting to the floor takes about 5 minutes and 3 pair of heavy bands to get to the floor. And me getting on a foam roller when I'm in a lot of pain is everything getting tight. And the key to opening everything up is to get loose. And we want that muscle that's cramping to be loose, to be flaccid, basically, while you are deadlifting. That way you can choose to flex it or not. And the thing is, it's flexing without you wanting to. So we're going to stretch that. Now the chances are really high that what's pulling it is somewhere else. Bicep, forearm, thumb, pointer finger, somewhere around there. Could even be through the ribs. But we're going to loosen that first. That'll be the first line of defense for getting those cramps to stop, basically, so you can deadlift without, or at least with less risk of cramping and pain. But I'll just sit here for a good 30 seconds or a minute. This is normally before I start to deadlift, before I do farmers, before I do stones, before I bench press, before I do anything that puts my pec in danger, or if I squatted the day before and I need to press today, or I need to recover. This is a big one. It's digging in on those pecs. It's pulling my shoulders back, and I can let my shoulders go back. I can pull them forward. I can pec deck if I want to. I can swim. I can Superman fly. I can rotate backwards. All of it is good, and the more that I do, the more that it digs. But the key, like I've said at least 10 times, you want to be able to relax when you're here, and you want those bands to really dig down as much as they can into those pecs. So man, as much as I would love to just be able to tell you what the magic recipe was for the pec cramps while you're deadlifting, man, that would make me some sort of genius, but a genius that's lying to you. I don't think anybody really knows what that is. But hit it from all directions. Get the mouthpiece, get the magnesium for muscles, get the AccuMobility balls. Those things are golden, by the way. The roller, if you can. And do the band work. I know you've got bands at home. Do this after your squat session, after your press sessions, and before your deadlift. You can do this one before you deadlift. You can do this one really easy in between sets. But be proactive and be active. Just because it's not cramping doesn't mean you shouldn't keep doing it. So try these. Hope they help. Deadlift big. Tag me in the videos.